The rest of my first week was defined by the sound of sizzling oil, the shrill ding of the order bell, and the oppressive silence of Barbara. We worked side by side for hours, a mere 2 feet apart, yet she might as well have been on another planet. She never spoke a word to me unless it was a clipped, direct order related to the job. More onions, out of buns, or a sharp, "Watch where you put that." If my cutting board so much as grazed the edge of the grill station, I tried to be polite, to bridge the gap. "How long have you worked here, Barbara?" I asked one afternoon during a brief lull between the lunch rush and the dinner wave. She didn't even look up from scrubbing a grease spot on her pristine uniform. "Long enough to know how to do the job right." The implication hung heavy in the air. "Unlike you, I stopped trying after that." Her animosity was a physical weight in the tiny kitchen, making me anxious and prone to mistakes. I'd drop a tray of fries or mix up an order, and her thick glasses would zoom in on me, those cold eyes filled with a mixture of contempt and self-satisfaction. It was like she was waiting for me to fail, proving some point she had about young people or new hires. One busy Thursday night, I was struggling to manage the increasingly chaotic stream of orders coming in on my prep side. I was fast, but new and falling behind. I reached for a stack of wrappers, accidentally knocking over a metal container filled with perfectly shredded lettuce. It spilled across the floor, mixing instantly with grease and grime. My stomach dropped. The bell for the next order dinged insistently. Barbara stopped grilling, the spatula poised midair. The entire kitchen seemed to go silent for a moment, the focus shifting to the mess on the floor and the panic on my face. She let out a long, slow sigh that sounded less like frustration and more like smug confirmation. "Clean it up, girl," she snapped, not even bothering to offer a hand, returning to her grill with a self-satisfied huff. The silent treatment had ended, only to be replaced by active cruelty. I cleaned up the lettuce with shaking hands, the humiliation burning my cheeks brighter than the heat lamps over the pass. The rest of my shift was a blur of efficiency and mounting resentment. By the time I clocked out, my feet ached, my uniform smelled terrible, and I was dangerously close to crying in the parking lot. I spent my bus ride home mentally composing my resignation letter. The adult world was harsh, and Barbara was its self-appointed warden. The next day, Friday, was always the busiest, the start of the weekend rush. The air in the kitchen was thick with a palpable tension even before noon. Dave had called in sick, which meant the older assistant manager, a woman who only ever worked the front register, was in charge. She was useless in the kitchen. It was just me and Barbara on the grill line, 2 feet apart, facing an onslaught of customers. The orders came in relentless waves. Ding, ding. Order 14, double cheeseburger, no onion. Ding. Order 15, kids meal, 6 nuggets. We were drowning. Barbara was moving at hyperspeed, but the pace was even taxing her veteran efficiency. She was juggling multiple grills, her face tight with stress. I was doing my best to keep up the prep side, trying to anticipate her needs before she barked them. The crisis hit during the peak of the rush. A sudden hiss and a cloud of steam erupted from the main fryer. The indicator lights went dark. "The fryer's dead." I yelled over the din, my voice high with panic. Barbara swore under her breath, a sharp curse I hadn't heard from her before. The assistant manager came rushing in, wringing her hands. Oh dear, what do we do? We have 20 orders of fries pending." "We fix it," Barbara snapped, already crouching down to look at the wiring, grease smearing on her hands and uniform. "Stupid thing always breaks on Fridays." She was trying to troubleshoot, but the assistant manager was blocking her way, flapping her arms uselessly. "Barbara, the orders." "Get out of the way." Barbara pushed past her roughly. My heart pounded in my chest. We were in over our heads. Dave was gone. The line was backed up, and the one person who knew what they were doing was struggling with broken equipment. The pressure in the kitchen was about to burst. Barbara wrestled with the broken fryer for a minute, muttering curses and smearing more grease on her face, before standing up straight with a look of pure defeat. "It's gone," she said flatly, her voice barely a whisper against the cacophony of dings and shouting customers. "The main fuse is shot. We have no fries." The assistant manager started to hyperventilate. The news spread through the kitchen like wildfire, killing all efficiency. The front counter manager, sensing the collapse, yelled back, "We're telling them we're out of fries for the night." Cancel all pending fry orders. A chorus of customer groans immediately erupted from the front of the restaurant, a sound of collective disappointment and frustration that hit harder than any kitchen timer. The rush, which was supposed to bring us success and speed, brought only chaos and failure. Barbara returned to her grill, her movements slow and defeated now. I kept prepping the burgers, but the energy was gone. The rhythmic efficiency of the kitchen had been utterly destroyed by the broken equipment and the wave of angry customers. The rest of the shift was a grueling, miserable crawl. Every customer complaint was a stab at our already broken morale. Every canceled order a reminder of our failure to cope. The atmosphere was a toxic mix of burnout and embarrassment. When the dust settled and the final customer left, the kitchen was silent, save for the hum of the remaining equipment. Barbara and I began the cleanup in total silence. The camaraderie I hoped might emerge from surviving a crisis together never materialized. She was quieter than usual, her gaze distant, fixed on the broken fryer. I felt a wave of profound sadness. My new adult job, my big step into independence, had become a prison of grease and quiet hostility, and the one person who could have taught me the ropes despised me. Barbara didn't look at me once as we clocked out. I walked out of the burger barn doors for the last time, the weight of the night a heavy burden on my shoulders, knowing I wouldn't be back. Adulthood, it seemed, was just lonely and relentless work.